So at the end of the day, all it is, it's just a monitor, overhead monitor carrier. Carries the keyboard, the computer part, and the monitor. It goes up and down here, just like that. That's all it is. It turns 180 degrees. You got to be careful. You know, they will run into each other. They're probably between like 38 and 45 pounds per with everything on them. The whole thing is, it's just going up and down with them, right? If you ever have to remove a monitor, UPC, anything, that is your locking mechanism, right? So, let me grab the ladder. I'm sorry.
I borrowed your ladder for like 3 minutes. Just get back on your phone. They're all-
It's really important to make sure these are spring loaded. And this was all like a learning curve for everyone that was involved in this install for this. So your whole thing is like, now see how it goes up and down? You want to get it up here and just work it. It's locked in. You gotta find it too, right? Would you do me a favor? And someone just come up on that carrier, kind of push up a hair. There we go. A little more. A little more. Let go. Not too far up. See if you can pull it down. It's locked, right?
Yep.
Done. When you lock those, then you can work on, you have to get a ladder, then you can remove your monitor. You can see any of that stuff.
So that piece was pulled out and you had to push it in to lock it so that it won't move? when you
Correct.
wanna- okay.
To work on it, because what happens is if you take all this off with that down, this is gonna come straight up. It's gonna hit the ceiling. The other thing too is, say you put a bigger monitor, smaller monitor, decide to like shrink it up some. There is a T Allen key wrench right in here in the corner, or we have them pretty much in every room. You have to remove this cover.
Okay.
Now there's wire pulled through here. It's the HDMI cord and the Cat 6. So you gotta just really kind of play with it to come in and out of it and to find it where it actually has to turn it. And you're gonna have to loosen it and tighten it. And I'm assuming the
Gotta
more
adjust
you
the
move it
weight.
over time, it's gonna get loose. So that will adjust. If you could be so kind, give me a hand again. Come down, pull it down in here. Come up with it. Down. Up just a little more. Very finicky, guys. There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
And pull it all the way down. Right. See how, see that, you see the tension on it?
Right.
You can put that key in there and that'll make it even tighter or less, yes.
Put it on a weight.
Yep. I don't know, depending on how much they use these classrooms, assuming they're gonna use them like a regular classroom, there's gonna be from 6 in the morning till whenever. There's set bolts here. They may get loose over time, you may wanna inspect
Tighten
them.
them
I tried to tighten them up as much as they go. When we installed these, we used a laser. These were plumb on money. But when you get more people inside of these, in the ceiling, electricians, HVAC, it's a lot of moving around. these things can tend to go on their own. So they're not 100%, some are, some might be at 99, 98. But that's where these come into play, because the tighter you lock it down on that bolt, the less sway you'll get. All right, I would check them regularly, maybe a couple times a semester if somebody starts complaining. 1, 2, you have 2 at these ends as well. All right. If you had to replace any wires, say you had to get another Cat 5 or the wire went bad, the HDMI cord went bad, these come apart. Like, hand tighten and hand loosen everything that you use. Don't use an impact on anything, because you will strip them out. These metal knuckle sleeves, they call them, they have to be removed first. And they're really sharp. I've had several stitches because of them. Yeah, they're very thin metal. You have to take them out, then you take this set out and this set out, and they just pop right out. And then your wires are run through. But it comes through the trunk here. So it comes down the trunk, through the end, through the knuckle, back out. It's pretty self-explanatory how they come apart. There's a top piece here that you feed all your wire in and wire out. That's pretty much it. But I would definitely be on top of seeing the sway on these things.
Put an SOP in place to check it monthly, maybe.
I would do it, definitely.
Yeah.
I would definitely have a maintenance come in and check them all the time. Other than that, there's a lot of screws, a lot of pieces, a lot of bolts. So this is your monitor carrier. The more they monkey with these, the worse they're going to get. The 2 bolts you're going to have to deal with are here. And then you have a set screw here. If you ever have to take this apart or fix it, you have to undo this set screw here and loosen and tighten from here. Always do this first before you try and tighten this one up. I would definitely, like I said, hand tighten everything. The impact will strip them. Other than that, that's pretty much it where it goes for these carriers. They go up and down, and they go 1/8. So however the professor, teacher, whoever's here, adjunct, I don't know, they'll set the room up accordingly. But I would, if you gotta move them, I would definitely not move them this way. I would try and use the carrier, go up and down, turn, use the base of the carrier, not the keyboard tray or anything. Definitely just try and use the base. And that's it. That's it. Everything else is just self-explanatory, but with all the bolts and all the little, I would be on top of everything. And it's all metric. Everything's metric. Overhead, these are connected the way these were set. We had to drill into the steel beams overhead. It's attached with a 2-piece base. I would check, every once in a while, if they seem like they're getting loose at the trunk, check it. You know, check the connections on the bases just to see if they need to be retightened up. The base is at the bottom of the bottom faceplate. This all comes off. There's a scutcheon, and then the cover plate. So the scutcheon can be loosened. Allen key, it slides down, and then that can come down. All the screws, if you take the screws out, the whole thing pops off. Yes, sir. And other than that, that's how it rolls. But I would definitely remember to Always lock that pin in before you take anything apart. That's rule number one.
First thing you do is.
That's definitely rule number one. If you ever had to get like replacement parts, I guess you would have to go through Ondal. This comes out, there's like a small little half moon clip plate in there, you just pull that out. Other than that, when you put these back on, put the plastic back on, screw them back down, and then these, just slide them in. They have to go in the grooves. You can't just be pushed in. There's two small grooves on these back ends. You have to slide them in and then push them down. And then, tighten them in. Other than that, just don't feed them after midnight and don't get them wet. You're good. You're good. But it's going to be a lot of moving and a lot of shaking, so I would, again, be on top of keeping everything tight.
Which is in there, you said, right?
Excuse me.